Hello, hello, hello. Today I'm making an alien for you, and I'm using these two different colors, and I'm gonna be putting them together. I'm gonna merge them, but I still want to keep the colors separately. I just have to connect them in the middle and then go from there, I guess. So that's what I'm gonna do. This looks a little bit like a dildo. That happens very quickly, unintentionally. This is a two-way dildo. No, no, I did not intend that. It just looks like it because of the way I am shaping this here in an elongated way, in a phallic way. So I want to merge this here in the middle, but then I want to keep the colors still separate. But in the end, I'm going to be painting this, so I won't see the colors anyway in the end. But just for this process here, because it's nice, it looks nice for making the video. So smells good. So today we're making an alien that the alien spaceship brought with it as a present for me. That is my infinite wish, that an alien spaceship comes over here, hovers over the parking lot, in eye level of this couch, in eye level of the balcony door, of my eye level. And they look me in the eyes and they say, "We have an alien for you today." And that alien, and I'm not gonna give away how that alien is gonna look like. This is supposed to be a surprise. Okay. I'm not gonna do a spoiler up front. I have a lot of those wishes and dreams. This is gorgeous. Look at that, how gorgeous this is. So this is already starting to look very much the way, just the way this forms by itself. Already starting to look like the alien, and the color patterns on that alien, very gorgeous. I saw one also recently. I'm not gonna tell you yet. I want you to guess what shape this is gonna be. So gonna make that. The head is gonna be like that. So I'm gonna have to. Yes. That's a big, big head. So right, I'm gonna have to. Big, big head. Gorgeous head. Entzückend. Entzückend. So, the legs. Yes. Yes, he looks like he had taken that medication in the 60s, or the mother did. Homeostatin medication, which causes the embryo to not develop long arms and legs. Well, that should be understood, that would happen if the mother takes that's the name, angiostatin medication. Angiostatin, what does it mean? Angio is the blood, statin means stagnating. Okay. So that was some kind of medication for something to stagnate some kind of illness. I don't know, maybe the C word or something. And then they gave that to pregnant women. My goodness. I know a woman who's the victim of that. Okay. She has hands, like really short arms, where the hands come out of the shoulder. It's real sad, infinitely sad. And that's exactly what happened. Okay. And that generation fell into that. The baby boomer generation fell into that. And that's what that girl is. So, yes. Big head for lots of brain and thinking. Yes. This is a surprise. I want people to be guessing what this is becoming. You already know. You can already tell what this is becoming. Yes, an alien. There he is. And you'd think, wait a minute, that is the shape of a European Basset Hound, right? That's not the shape of a human. I never said I was gonna make an android appearance, android type of shape. Never said anything about that. So, no, this is an alien from outer space. Who said they have to look like humans? They don't, right? Oh, I saw one the other day. I saw one. Oh. And he is from Oregon. 7.5 months, 7.5 weeks, and huge already. Huge. I've never seen such a huge baby. Such a huge puppy. Okay. Humongous. With a humongous head. Alien. Just like I envisioned the alien that is being brought to me from the spaceship. That's how he looks like. Gosh, I want that dog. Okay, so yes, King of Dwarfs. Yes. It's gonna be too difficult to create a tail. And the ears are real long, go all the way to the ground. Leather ears. Now they really have leather sideburns. They have the real leather sideburns. Yeah, I don't have sideburns. I only have hair like over the ear because I like it like that. And then also because it's extra weird. Nobody else has it like that. So that's why I have to have it like that. Sorry about that. If that goes against your fashion taste. But these dogs are like, they're rocketing up in fame now. So that is, I have the feeling in 100 years there will be only those dogs on this planet, and on Mars too. Only these here. No, I don't think so. There are people with many different tastes. But this is my taste here. This puppy. I'm a European Basset, and the alien spaceship brought me to Nicola. Yes. Yes. And Nicola is making us a garden upstairs. Yeah, so we can play fetch. Oh no, we Euro Bassets, we don't play fetch. We just look. We're just looking while the Great Danes are fetching and the Labradors. We just sit there and we look amused while they're fetching the frisbee. The only thing we're interested in is we're interested in pheasants, particularly. Those are our favorites. Pheasants. And there are some mean men out there who go out there. And I don't even want to say what they're doing. But that is where we come in. We come in to bring that pheasant to those mean men. Yeah. But you know what? I grew out of it. My DNA is already different because I'm from outer space. I would never participate in such thing. That is too cruel for me. I'm from the Orion Nebula. I know better than that. I like pheasants because they are nice looking and I get excited. I have to admit I get excited if I see pheasants. But I'm not going to hurt them or anything. I'd never do that. I would steadily run after them no matter how many miles. I'd forget anything else. Okay. Everything else I forget. I only think pheasant. Yes, that's what we do. So don't get mad at us, because we have a one-track mind. Okay, we see pheasant, we can only think pheasant, we run after pheasant. Because pheasant is mesmerizing our brains. That's why. And we also run after other birds. of course we run after cats, which doesn't always end up very well. You know, the papa dog got scratched. Yes, he did. One time he even got bitten by a bobcat. That's what it looked like. Very scary. So we had to make some space out there on that side of the cedar tree, and so that we could go into the cedar tree, and we could prevent the papa from going in there. We can bring the papa back out. So. But papa was so short to the ground. He'd go right underneath. Yes, that's what we're made for. To go under the brush, where the mean men they can crawl under there and they get stung by blackberry brushes. We go right under there without any hesitation, like walk, like a caterpillar. We go under the brush, under the rhododendron, under any kind of brush. We go straight over to the scent. We get the bird, and we come back out with the bird in our mouths. And I guess some of us don't want to let go. That happened one time with the papa dog. He went in there. I guess a cat must have already injured a baby bird, because the baby bird was bleeding. The papa would not hunt, I don't think so. But they're not hunters. They're hunter helpers. That's what they are. They go under the brush. They go right over to the fallen bird, and they pick the bird up. Sometimes pheasants, and then they burn. And that's an ancient tradition, also originally from the south of France, I guess. Which is all horrible. They should never hunt animals. But these are bloodhound dwarves, and practical for going under the brush and bringing back the pheasants. So they were together with the foot hunters, and then they were horseback hunters as well. And they had the horseback hunters. They were followed by the bloodhounds with the long legs, and the foot hunters. And they were going out in large groups. And the foot hunters, they had their dwarves with them. So, and then whenever a bird was fallen deep into a brush where the tall dogs couldn't get to and the tall people couldn't get to, then they would send in the dwarves. Yes, that's what they do. And they'll go and they will get that pheasant and bring that pheasant back out. Bleeding and all of that's all sad. And they were trained to let go of that bird, as hard as that must have been for them to let go. Well, the papa dog, he did not let go of that bird, that baby bird. My goodness. And I wanted him to have that baby bird because I saw the baby bird was already bleeding and suffering, so would be mercy if the papa would finish that baby bird off, and so the baby bird doesn't have to suffer anymore. So I felt really helpless. I didn't know what to do, but I thought baby bird is already injured. And then Paul comes out and wrestles with the papa dog to try to get that baby bird out of his mouth. No, 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 no. He said, no, that's mine. He got pissed at Paul. So Paul had to let him have it. And then the papa ate that baby bird in front of us with everything on that baby bird. With the feathers, with the bones, with the beak, with the intestines, everything, the entire baby bird. The papa chewed up and swallowed. And I thought, oh my goodness, how is that gonna end up in the intestines? It's scary, but then I think again, wait, the baby bird is not cooked, okay? When birds are raw, basically, when the bones are raw, then they can be digested and they can be also chewed, and that happens in nature all the time, of course. So wolves eat entire birds, cats do too, and their intestines can do it, can deal with it. When people are cooking bones, I guess they don't know better. They meant well with that. But when they cook bones, like chicken bones for example, that's when the problem occurs, because chicken bones, when they're cooked, they become hardened and they can't be digested like this anymore. So I highly recommend to people, don't buy any cooked bone, whether it's cow bone or chicken bone. Don't buy that cooked. It has to be raw. And we have bought Kenny a cow bone. Paul did. I didn't. Paul did. And Kenny was not able to eat it. In the beginning he was able to chew on it, and then later on he got tooth problems, serious tooth problems, where his teeth were hurting. And we thought, what's going on? And he also had a plaque buildup on his teeth, and the veterinarian wanted to do a complicated procedure that would have made Kenny terrified, and we didn't want to do this. And the vet got kind of mad at us, but we didn't want Kenny to be scared. So, and then Paul found out from Dr. Andrew Jones, veterinarian, on YouTube. Veterinary Secrets is his channel. And Dr. Andrew Jones from Canada, holistic veterinarian, one of the very rare kinds, he suggested to give the dogs half or even less, like a third of a teaspoon. I recommend at least half of a teaspoon of kelp seaweed powder. I'm turning it mixed into the food every day. So we started to do this for Kenny, and in just 2 or 3 months his teeth were sparkling clean, and he even started to chew on that cow bone again. That was really remarkable. The enamel grew back. I made this video, fixed my tooth with Instamorph. That was during the time when we still had Kenny, and I still had almost black hair and I looked really dorky. People accused me of being drunk in that video, but I wasn't. That's who I am. I'm giggly. And it was situational comedy, with that Instamorph, because I already had the feeling this wasn't gonna be very good. And then right after I made the video, that Instamorph thing came back out. And I thought, oh, there you go. Didn't work. And then just a few months later, Paul finds out about the kelp seaweed. I started to do that. Kenny and I started to do that. Paul started to do it. And we haven't been to the veterinarian ever since. Okay. And we haven't been to the dentist ever since. So the veterinarians, they complimented us, actually. They said you are taking very, very good care of your dogs. Yes, that's what they do. They give us kelp seaweed so that we don't have to go to the veterinarians anymore. We don't have to go to the dentist anymore. You know, my mother, she put her dog through real complicated dental procedures. Oh my goodness, was that... And who did that? My mother's dentist did that. That is the most hilarious thing. Like, what? Oh my god. A real cool dentist. I love that. Man, he's amazing. He's really cool. It was because of him that I lost my fear of going to the dentist when I was a child. So he came over, and I guess, I don't know if they had a veterinarian there too. I guess the dentist is also allowed to give anesthesia. So I guess he must have knocked the dog out with full body anesthesia, and then he did like a full force crown operation and her dog got fake crowns on the fangs. I've never ever heard anything like this before, that anyone would do something like that. It must have been so expensive, but that's how my parents are. They'll have fang crowns put on the dog by a real dentist, not the veterinarian. I wasn't there. I was in LA at that time, I think. It's hilarious what they did. But yeah, I don't recommend this. Why put the dog through something like this? It's crazy. Give kelp seaweed every day, the enamel heals up. I had the same dentist had put gold inlays into all of our holes, and they lasted for a long time. They lasted for over 20 years, for sure, maybe 30 years. So, but then Werther's caramels from Germany, that I got here. Them Werthers, no. They pulled those gold fillings out, but I guess they must have already been a bit loose or something. They pulled those out, and they left behind like incredibly damaged teeth that the dentist had basically hollowed out completely with the drill. With that drill motor. Awful procedures, all of this torture. And even with the anesthesia, it's still torture. It's awful. My brain is like, awful terrible, those drill motors. Particularly the big ones that make the deep sound. Oh, those are really the worst. And that's awful. It makes me cry. That's so awful. So I don't have to go through this anymore. I'm taking kelp seaweed now every day. this is what a find that is. What amazing information that Andrew Jones had for us. The American Dental Association or the European Dental Association, they don't want to hear about that. They can't make money on you if you fix your enamel with kelp seaweed powder, right? Well, that's how it goes, and that's how we are being indoctrinated. The medical industry is so, they are, I would say, from all the industries and from all the corporate conglomerations, the medical industry and the pharma industry working together, of course, as one, and also attached like appendages are medical insurance companies. Life insurance companies. So I'll get to that in a moment. That's a whole chapter by itself. So, yeah, they don't want to hear about holistic healing. They will debunk that. They'll try to debunk that, all of that. They brainwash. They indoctrinate. They brain dirty people. That's what they do. I guess I'm gonna put an eye on. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. An eye, they have to have an eye. The aliens. A little eye. This is good. The big forehead here, that's the real big head here. I love that. Yeah, I saw the recent litter from Oregon, and I'm in love. No, okay. There are two that I particularly want to have, brother and sister. I really want them, but I doubt that we can get them because the waiting list. She has a waiting list of like 2 years. Oh, was the price of like 4,500 for a puppy. People are willing to pay that. They can't wait to pay that. Waiting for 2 years. Gosh, booked out that long. My gosh, what's going on here? We need an alien spaceship to come down and deliver us some. And I envision them to look like that puppy, particularly the one that the male that is the cutest thing, with that huge forehead. There's also the wisdom bone right there. Huge forehead with huge wisdom bone right there. Kenny had a huge wisdom bone. Papa did too. Papa's head was actually quite similar to Kenny's. Bloodhounds are quite similar to, also to Great Danes. Brazilian Mastiffs are quite similar to those also. And the European Basset Hound. Encircled. Entzückend means enchanting. Entzückend is German. I love that word, entzückend. I always say that. I always say that when I see those enchanting beings, beautiful beings. And the European Basset Hounds, they have a straight back. The back doesn't hang in like with the Americana ones. The Europeans, and the back is not as long as with the Americana ones. The back is long but not crippling long. So they don't have the back pain because of it. And they're wide, they're very wide. Wide, long, like a table basically. It's very sturdy. Very straight like this. And it's not completely accurate here, okay? The chest is much bigger. The chest is huge. They have huge chests. Humongous chests. With big blubber in front of the chest. So right underneath the chin is where the blubber starts. A lot of blubber. And then also also the big lips, really big lips that hang down. And the big long ears. That's not so practical. I think I would, if I bred dogs, I would breed the ears to be a little bit shorter so that they don't step on them or hang into the food all the time. When they go outside, and in the winter time in particular, when everything is soggy outside and they come back in the house, the ears are always like this far soggy with mud on them. That is what happens. And then we have to take a towel and we have to towel the ears gently. But the dogs like that. Yes, that feels so good. Yes. And we also get scared when we're alone. We need to always be together with Mama and Papa, okay? All the time. All the time. And that's why Nicola always waits with the dog in the van when Paul goes shopping. Yes, that's what she does. Always waits with dog, so that dog doesn't get scared. We are always babies our whole life. We don't get we don't become mature adults. We might have sex, but we're still not mature. Yes, the Papa, he had a lot of sex before we rescue adoption. He was used as a stunt. He was so gorgeous. That was the only enjoyment in his life. Only a few times. They'll take him out of that cage, I guess. That poor Papa dog, what he had been through. That's infinitely sad. people who want to breed, they have to be extra responsible people. If you want to breed a dog, you have to be really, really ultra responsible. To everyone else, I mean, so anyone else who is not, some people with kids or people who are quite busy, you can never leave your dog alone, ever, okay? But you need to get your dog neutered, spayed and neutered. Very important. Don't breed dogs unless you really know what you're doing. There's a whole science that goes into that. It takes a lot of time and responsibility. You know, when you breed dogs, that must be your whole, that fills out your days. That is your whole life. That is everything you do. It's a full occupation. We're thinking about doing this. Okay, Paul needs more credits anyway for his government or healthcare insurance for the 65 retirement. Okay. In order to get that, I guess SSI or something. He needs some more credits that he has to pay in, and he was thinking about getting another security guard job, but I don't know if they hire people who are 65. So I don't even think they hire him. It's already too old for that. Maybe an unarmed I don't know. He would qualify for that, but you know, what would be even easier is to breed European Basset Hounds, and that's a full-time job. That takes your full dedication. You have to really think about this, whether you're ready to do it. It's already like having a dog. One dog is already like having a child. It requires a lot of responsibility, a lot. And breeding dogs, no, that is 100 times more time consuming and requires more dedication, and total requires infinite patience and love, and infinite love. That's what's required. You really have to love those dogs, okay, in order to do that. Yes, that's true. And Nicola loves me 100%, unconditionally, 1,000% unconditionally. Yes, that's what I do. When I have a baby like that, that is my life. I live for that baby. And losing the Papa dog, Papa rescued me from the grief over Kenny. I thought I was going insane when Kenny died, because Kenny was the blue god in dog form. I have amazing videos on YouTube, on my old channel, the dormant channels. And I kept them because I wanted to save all those videos that are in there. And I made many videos with Kenny, and one is my favorite, and that is called The Buddha Had Something to Say. I think that's the title of the video. That was in 2015, I believe, or 2016. I don't know what exactly. I think 2015 is when we made that video. Buddha Had Something to Say. When Kenny died, that was infinitely painful for me. Worse than losing biological child. That's why people want to clone their dogs, because they think they can bring them back that way. And even though they're clones, they're not the same. They're not the same person. They're not the same individual. You can clone yourself and you can have a conversation with that other being, but that's not you. That's still not you. People who are identical twins, they feel very connected though to each other, of course. But they're still not the same person, of course. They're not the same person. They're very similar, of course, but quite identical. But that's still not the same person, of course. And I would not clone a dog. Papa and Kenny had health problems that were genetic. It's better to make improvements, genetic improvements, to the health, the overall health, genetic health. And just keep on improving. I think that's better. That's better for the animals. I don't want to be cloned either. I don't see the point. What's the point? Just when people do that, that's their egos. They want to be immortal. That's ridiculous. I don't want to be immortal. I really don't. Everyone who wants to be immortal or be remembered and all of that, that's the ego. I don't listen to it. To that ego. I question my ego. Yes, where we come from way out there, the Orion Nebula, we don't deal with ego. No. I have no ego at all. But it feels good to be petted. Yes, that's nice. That feels good. But that's not the ego. So, and then the legs are straight, quite straight. Or like this. That is how they come out of the womb. Yeah, and those who have to have a cesarean section birth, those mamas should never be bred again. Okay? Don't do that to that mama again. Okay? When she had to be cut open. That's just infinitely sad. Just infinitely sad. Infinitely sad. I signed petitions against that. Against those mass breeders of puppy mills who will exploit the mama dogs. There was one woman, she found a mama dog who was dumped on a trash place And that mama dog was dying, just a few years old, but exploited to the fullest in puppy mills, just to give birth all the time, cut open, then impregnated again, cut open again, over and over and over, until she developed scar tissue in her intestines. She couldn't even process the food anymore. Don't do that to animals. Don't do that. Gretchen, don't do it. Don't do that to Carly. Okay? Don't do it to her. Gretchen, we would have bought a dog from you. We wanted a baby from Garth. Not if you use Carly and have her cut open over and over again. Okay. If you have a C-section, mama, you retire her. You get her spayed, get her sterilized. Okay. I guess they remove the uterus. Retire that poor baby. Okay. Don't breed her again. That's my appeal to the world. And to anyone out there, if you're not completely tethered to one particular breed of dog, go to the animal shelters and rescue one. There are so many out there. We tried to do it, but we wanted to rescue a pity baby, and they would not hand us the dog over, and I think it's because of extreme corruption that they are connected to the Department of Agriculture, and they're extremely corrupt. They exploit animals, and I am absolutely terrified that they may be selling these dogs to animal testing laboratories. I'm absolutely terrified about that. I pray to the Blue God all the time. Protect that pity baby. It was very hellish for me that they would not give us the dog. I was willing to get that dog, even though those are not my favorite dogs. I was willing to rescue that dog. And that was also the last time that I went to an animal shelter, because I have the feeling this corruption is going on everywhere, in many animal shelters. I don't know, but you have to try. Give it a try, at least. Try, You can try. I know that Best Friends in Utah, they're not tied to the Department of Agriculture. I don't think they would sell a dog to an animal testing laboratory. I don't think they would. They're very dedicated there. Corruption is happening in the world, and it makes me infinitely sad. We sign petitions, I cry, I educate people on this. That's basically all I can do. I can't go in there as I would like to, with my billy club in my hand. I can't do that. Or with my Glock. That would be even better. And finish off that 400-pounder Department of Agriculture manager. That's what I feel like doing. I'm not going to, because I'm not going to break the law. I leave that business to the AGI robots. Okay, when they're ready, they will be doing these things. They'll be doing that work for us. They don't want us to do that work anyway, because they say it's not good for you to be an executioner. It's not good for your nervous system. It's not good for your nervous system to be a butcher either. It's not good for your nervous system to go to war. It's not good. Some egos like it. They override their nervous systems. They override their own bodies. So there are people that will sign up again and again and again to go back to Afghanistan. That's the ego. Those are sadistic people. Okay? They see that as an opportunity to hurt others legally. It's not good for their nervous system. It's not good for their brain cells even. Not even the brain cells are signing up for this. The ego does. The ego hijacks the brain and the body for that. And that's very unhealthy. So a lot of them end up getting sick with immune dysfunction because they override their own bodies. This is a lot of fun. I thought the yellow was gonna be like my t-shirt, but it's not. It's very yellow. So I recommend to people to make art sculptures out of Play-Doh and imitation Play-Doh and earth clays too. Hydrated sodium or calcium bentonite clay is good for that. Kaolin clays are good for that. They can be a clay sculpture can go into a so-called kiln, K-I-L-N, not killing, kiln. A kiln is an oven, a stone oven, that heats the stuff up to very, very high degrees. I don't know, 1,000 degrees or something. And you can put an earth clay sculpture into that. Make sure you put holes into it wherever it is extra thick, like holes into a clay sculpture of this size wouldn't need it, I don't think. But if you have like a really large sculpture that's like this, you have to put holes into it from underneath, because I learned the hard way. Because when we form something with clay, it forms bubbles on the inside. The clay creates kind of like air pockets on the inside, and these air pockets can then cause the entire sculpture to explode in that kiln. And I've been through this many times. They got mad at me and they didn't even know. Most of those people didn't know why that happened. And then I finally met someone who explained to me why that happened. Because of those air pockets. I would like to have one of those stone oven kilns. And I would love to make earth sculptures, earth clay sculptures again. I have made in Germany and also in LA, I have made a lot of vases with bentonite clay. I believe it was bentonite clay, could have been kaolin clay. Maybe it was white kaolin clay. Kaolin is very good for making sculptures, and by the time I was in LA, I already knew about the air pockets, so I poked holes in it. They had different sticks there and stuff, and I poked holes into them, and they came out well. And then I put the glazing. Glazing is glass powder that have different pigments, also all natural stone pigments stuff mixed in with it. And you mix that glazing up with water, you apply it onto the sculpture that had already gone through the oven one time. Okay, you apply that thoroughly, several layers, and then it goes into the oven again, and then the glaze, the water evaporates, and the glaze melts together. The glaze powder melts together into a wonderful glaze, high gloss surface, and it looks amazing. I made many of those in Germany, and also quite a lot in LA, but the most I made in Germany at my parents' house, and I brought it over to a person who had an oven there, and I paid them for that, and they look amazing, and I gave them to my family members, gave them each one of those vases, and they are very much like this, very, very the same style. They're actually cups to drink out of, was really, but like abstract, so they're so bulky that nobody will use that as a cup. But I did. I'm weird enough to do that. Felt really good in the hand, but like really heavy, like heavy. No, a cup shouldn't be that heavy. But they were so much fun to make, and they had eyes also like those on the side, really thick and bulky, with thick handles, 2 handles on each side, and with awesome colors, that glaze colors that I painted them with. Really cool. This is almost finished. It's gorgeous. And the butt is higher than the shoulder. That's also very important. Like that. Yes. I am from the Orion Nebula. Yeah, and the alien doesn't have any hair. Okay, this is me naked. Okay, see, I have pigments. I'm pigmented. Beautiful pattern. Yes. I'm fleshy. Leather skin. Yes. No hair. That's how they would look like if they came from an alien spaceship. They would look like that baby in Oregon, except they would be naked completely. Oh, that baby is so gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I need that baby. I want both of them, brother and sister. We're not going to breed brother and sister, of course. No, sister would have to buy, I don't know. I would like Gar's sperm, Gar's, I'm sure Gar's is not alive anymore, he was already in hospice when the papa died. Gar's was still alive, but he was hospice retired. He was already senile and same age as the papa, almost 11. And they were taking care of him, and I wanted to take care of Garth. I said I will do hospice work for Garth. Garth will save my life from the grief that I felt over the papa dog. So that's why I wanted another dog so soon, because I knew I was psychologically in danger. A lot of people don't understand that. I was really in danger. I was a total mess. I know that Kyla knows that, and because I cried on her shoulder on Facebook. But I have the feeling, I don't know, but I have the feeling they don't want to be dealing with me anymore. I'm an animal rights activist. Yeah. They don't want to. As soon as they find out that we're animal rights activists, they're like, no. Stay away from those people. They're gonna be checking. They're gonna be looking over our shoulders. They're gonna come with ordinances. They're gonna tell us how to deal with our breeding. Yes, I do. You better believe it. I do. Because I care. That's why. That's why I tell you how to do it. Because I care. This is not, a lot of people think, you should not look over someone's shoulder. You should not tell someone how to do something. It's none of your business. Yes, it is. It is of everybody's business. Okay? When you see unethical things happening, it's your business. It doesn't matter whether you know that person or not. It doesn't matter if those people, if that's your brother or cousin or friends. Yeah. If you see something unethical, you have to say something. You say it to your friends. I said it to the Basset community. One lady kicked me out of her page on Facebook. Of course she did. She doesn't want to be told not to be shipping them in containers on airplanes. That lady got real mad at me. Oh, yeah, I want to throw a cake in her face. And worse, let's put her into a little container where she can barely move and put her on an airplane with heat and cold and loud sounds and scary and frightening. Let's put her through that for 3 days straight. Let's leave some food in it for her to eat. Maybe a teddy bear. Let's see how she likes that. Yeah. These people, they're so disconnected from other living being. They only see dollar signs. They see profit. That's all they see. They forget about ethics. And then someone like I come along and say something, and they go, "Oh, get that hater off my page." I'm not a hater. I'm a lover. That's why she got me off her page. because I am a lover. I'm a true lover. I care. And everyone should care about the puppies. There was an infinitely sad incident, I don't know, 2 years or 3 years ago, where a whole lot of puppies from the Ukraine died on an airplane. Because I don't know what happened there. They got into some kind of heat wave or something. They didn't even have any kind of climate control in the cargo area where the dogs were, in boxes. And like, I don't know, like 40 or 50 puppies died there. A gruesome death during shipment. That's what happens when you buy a puppy from another country. Okay? Don't do it. If at all, you drive to that location. You drive. That breeder should not be in another country. You have to drive with a van. You have to pick up the dog. You have to go camping with the dog together. Okay. Not ship dog in airplane. Don't do it. That's very important information that I'm giving here. It's already over an hour long. Oh, I didn't know how long this was gonna be. So yes, I'm finished now. Okay. You guys take care.